Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, we have news from the Toronto Maple Leafs' training camp on day one, and I've been taught in journalism so far to not bury the lead, so we will start with the juicy stuff. So the big news obviously being that Sheldon Keefe wants to try out Joe Thornton on the top line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner to start. These kind of things aren't final, and they can always change in-game as the team needs to make adjustments, but it is exciting to see this. Before I talk about the other two lines, I want to touch on Joe Thornton first, and obviously the big thing being is that Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner are going to be playing anywhere between 18 and 20 minutes a night, and with Joe Thornton being 41 years old, turning 42, can he keep up with those minutes? Over his last two seasons in San Jose, he's averaged about 15 and a half minutes a night, and to play 18 to 20 would be a huge jump up at his age. Before I analyze the other two lines and the players that are there and not there, I think that it's interesting that there's only three of them. It could be that they're just unsure of what the fourth line could look like, or it could be like I've been saying for the last couple of months now, the Maple Leafs are going to play 11 forwards and 7 defensemen a night, and the 2 extra forwards are going to be used to rotate into that top 9 group. So let me phrase it this way. Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner will not be playing every shift with Joe Thornton, but Joe Thornton will be playing all of his shifts with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. At least that's the plan as of now, and when Joe Thornton is not there, I suspect it'll be one of the other 2 forwards that have yet to be determined that rotate in for his place. I've been saying it for a while now. I would really appreciate an Austin Matthews goal assisted by Joe Thornton. I just think that that would be really cool. One last thing in regards to Joe Thornton. Joe has a resume just like John Tavares did with the New York Islanders. He always makes his line mates and his teammates better wherever he goes on the ice. And when we're looking at the defense, the negative numbers are a good thing. And when you're looking at the offense, the crazy positive numbers are just absolutely insane. And the idea that this guy is going to get to play with Mitch Marner, another elite playmaker, and an elite goal scorer in Austin Matthews is really, really fun. I don't care how old he is or how slow he is. Especially if the Maple Leafs plan to rotate him in and off that line and limit his minutes to about 14 or 15 minutes a night, he can be really, really effective there. And remember, San Jose had him playing center last year, and if the Maple Leafs intend to move him to the wing and still use him at center if they need him to, but if he's primarily playing on the wing, that's less responsibility, he should be effective. Mikheyev, Kerfoot, and Hyman has the possibility of being a real energy line for the Toronto Maple Leafs because Mikheyev and Hyman are just relentless on the forecheck. And hopefully Kerfoot's able to translate his game from what we saw against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the play-in round because the Maple Leafs could really use a third center like that. He was absolutely fantastic in that series. Jimmy Vesey and William Nylander on the same line together, it's kind of funny. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Now, Nick Robertson not being a part of this initial group strikes me as meaning one of two things. One, the Maple Leafs want him to earn the spot and they don't want him to feel like he's already earned it. Or two, because the taxi squad is for AHL players, once the CHL season starts, he won't be eligible to be a part of the taxi squad. There is going to be a roster crunch for the Maple Leafs, and I'll get to that in about a minute or so, but the one thing that you have to understand is that you have options in terms of waivers like Nick Robertson does. You're more than likely going to get the short end of the stick. I'm a huge fan of Nick Robertson. I know that you are too. I want to see him play. You want to see him play, but he's got to earn it. And this is where that roster crunch is. I've mentioned it a couple of times over the last 2 weeks in a couple of different videos, but the Maple Leafs are going to have to put 2 goalies on waivers. And with the NHL putting an emphasis on needing 3 goalies for this upcoming season, there could be a chance that one or both of them gets claimed. Because if you're not confident that you can sneak a goalie through waivers, then you're going to have to carry 3 goalies with the team. And if you do that, you're very limited in terms of cap space. And it's interesting to see the lines fleshed out like this because when Joe Thornton is not on that line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, maybe it's Wayne Simmons, maybe it's Jason Spezza. Or at least until the CHL season starts, Nick Robertson can still be on the taxi squad and maybe he can be one of the guys that rotates in on that line. There's also been some lines tweeted out with Alexander Barabanov on the 4th line with it looking exactly like that, but that would put them over the salary cap. So if they wanted to do that, they would need to roll the dice with Aaron Dell. So for that reason, they probably will roll the dice and put him on waivers so that he can be a part of the taxi squad. And they do have Michael Hutchison as a backup to the backup's backup. I think I got that right. But if they both get claimed on waivers, then they're going to be in trouble. And for your own peace of mind, I thought that I would throw in this Sheldon Keefe quote from Kristen Shelton. Sheldon Keefe on what he wants to see from the Maple Leafs this season: competitiveness, physicality, and structure, and our ability to make it more difficult to get to our net. And, of course, consistency. Keefe said camp will be about practices and practice habits. And just for fun, Kyle Cushman here on Twitter went through the Maple Leafs' measurements from last training camp to this training camp, and you're going to see the weight differences here in gains and losses. Put whatever stock you want to into these, but Nylander's listed as 200 pounds now. But on the flip side, there are some players that have lost some weight, and I don't really know what that means, but I just thought that it was interesting to throw in there. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure to like the video if you did like it and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And make sure to let me know down in the comment section what you guys have thought about the information that has come out of Toronto Maple Leaf training camp so far on day one. What do you think about the lines? What do you think about Joe Thornton up there with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner?